Hello. So yeah, you just had my question. How many people know what is Vinted? Actually, I would like to say that this is because of me who launched Vinted 2 days ago in Latvia. So now you can officially use Vinted. But it's not because of me, but still it's super nice. So basically it's a company with a mission to make secondhand choice the first worldwide. So basically it's fashion and other categories where you can sell the things which you pre-loved and buy something very fancy, much cheaper. I do it for all family and I like it. So I hope that next year we will have much more hands talking that we know what Vinted is and that we use it. But basically who I am a mother of two. Actually, my younger son is 14 months today, and his first country he had ever visited is Latvia because he came here with me. Because the choice was to come, either I come with him or I didn't come. So organizers were very friendly and say like, of course, let's make it a family trip. So as well, I am a senior director of engineering. How I explained it to my daughter is that it's director of directors, actually. So I'm leading half of the engineering effort in the Vinted marketplace, but I don't have diploma in engineering. I actually studied politics. I am 10 plus year in leadership position. I founded the Tech Kinship, which is an initiative talking about emotional topics and controversial topics. As well, I am mentor of multiple women, and I used to be professional biathlete, competing with Baiba Bendika and Andris Rastorguyevs together. So I'm very cheering for your guys. So if you take away one sentence from all this presentation, I don't know if you know, but last year, Chemistry Nobel Prize winner had nothing to do with chemistry. And actually, I checked if it's possible only in the AI world. But so basically, it's not. It happened 7 times, actually, already before today. So, of course, our experience define where we can go, but it doesn't define us and our dreams. So today, I decided not maybe talk what was my career path, but what were the errors which I had in my head, fixing which helped me to be much more successful where I am today. And actually, I have a sister. And since she was able to talk, she told that I will be an artist. I like painting, I like doing art, I'm gonna be an artist. And guess what? We told her, no, you will have a normal job, first finish and have a normal education, and then you can go and do your arts. She never listened, and she's quite famous artist, and now if I used to be the one who people were asking her if she's my sister. Now I am asked if I am her sister. But I said, like, you know, for you it was always so easy. You knew that you want to do arts. I never had a clue what I want to do in life. And actually, I felt that I am unique like this. But then we asked our colleagues on Slack how many of them felt that they know what they are going to do. And actually, it's a smaller part. So if previously I thought that it's a bug, that I don't know what I want to do in life, now I treat it as a feature. I am very excited to know what I will be doing in 10 years, because today I have no clue and I'm excited about that. So how I make my career, I made a choice, not always very cautious or very deliberative. And then biathlon and overall sport, what it taught me to be persistent, that there is no bad weather, there is no pain, you can work very hard if you want to do anything in life. So it learned me to stick to something and to make it work. And the hardest lesson for me actually was, which I learned only a couple of years ago, that I can change my mind. And sometimes I make a joke, I'm a woman, I can make my mind. But actually, it's not about men or women, but it's that it's very important to learn those things exactly in such order. Because if you learn to choose to change your mind, then it's very hard all the time, very hard to make it work. So when I joined IT, for 2 weeks, I was crying every day. It was unhappiest moment in my life. Then around 2 months, I was crying weekly. Then I was still crying, and I still do crying sometimes. But I'm very excited about what I do, but I was very happy that I stayed and I made it work instead of just quitting. So when I talk to my daughter and she wants to quit some sport, I say, sure, but please do it after a good training, not after the bad one. So when you come happy, after that sports exercise, and you want to quit, quit. But don't do this on the bad day when you fall or you do something. So I would say that it's important to apply that in work as well. And what I quite often think of, what would happen if I stayed in professional sports? Because I was doing international team, World Cups, World Championship. What if I stay? Maybe I would be successful and won a medal. Maybe I would be terrible and I quit, because I quit for making alternative career. And as well, I was thinking, what if I would not listen to my teachers who told that I should actually study social science just because I'm social? But I would go to study tech. I would be much more successful today. But the thing is, life is not an A/B test. And even though when I was deciding to go and found the company or to go to work in tech, I had 4 big blank papers on the ground, pros, cons. I tried to make a decision very logical, but at the end of the day, you know how I did it? Like this. And I will never know what would happen if I would found the company. Maybe I would be a millionaire and very successful one. I would be talking on different stage about something else. But why to focus on the things you never know and you will not be able to know? And a friend of mine is telling that when I was sitting a few years ago and like, why those people behave like they do, and that and this could be different, then we would be in a different place. And she told me, you know, Aliona, everybody can play poker with the winning cards. But if you learn to play with the cards you have, you will be amazing. So since then, it became my mantra. We play with the cards we have, so let's try to have the best game we have. And it's your president. We have very similar one in Lithuania. So it's Dalia Grybauskaitė, but it's a tough woman. Zero bullshit. Let's make it work. And when I joined tech, it's not that just it felt a bit lonely because I didn't see lots of women around me, but as well, everybody was behaving very like in a rational way. No emotions, no crying, no Susie Pucha, like be my friend, no cats, dogs, birthdays. It's like, just let's make it work. So I learned, okay, I know how to make it too. I will be very rational, not emotional, and it's not who I am. I am very mothering and emotional, I'm empathetic, and I like to show it to people. But then I learned to be a tough woman. And guess what was my feedback during the yearlies? That I am too emotional. Guess why? Because I was like putting those emotions to the dark room, and then one day it was like boom, and I was not emotional, I was psycho. So basically, I was all the time receiving the feedback that, hey, please, can you be less emotional? And then I figure out that while being emotional, people don't really see that as so emotional. They see that as like actually quite a benefit. And I learned that the biggest weakness of myself is actually my strength, because we love and hate people exactly for the same things. We like because someone is charismatic, stands out, makes the decision, and then we say they are too direct, autocrats. Then we say we like people being empathetic, we like them being very friendly, and then we say they're not hard enough on people. So basically it's all about the volume you are playing and how you are using the strength, but we love and hate people exactly for the same reasons. So I started since then to use emotions as my superpowers. And my real career journey started then, because I felt that it's not draining my energy anymore. And actually, it's the unique angle which I'm bringing. And it doesn't mean that I cannot be tough. It just means that I can be tough in a very caring way. And guess what's the biggest fear, which is always with me? Because I haven't studied tech, it's always the feeling when everybody is dressed in black and you are dressed in white, and like, now I'm black and white, and you're pretending that you belong here. And I received the comment that I'm not technical enough so many times, not the comment, the doubt, and then every time I had to go and prove it wrong. And I read so many books, which I didn't understand while I started reading, trying to become technical. And I was thinking like, okay, when it will be that I will feel that I'm technical enough? And then I was talking to my mentor. He's a senior architect from Australia, traveling the world, working in the different companies. Now he's 60 plus. And I talked to him like, Peter, what's your biggest fear? And he replies that I'm not technical enough. And I was like, God, it will never go away. So, but then again, I've remembered that my biggest weakness is my biggest strength, because it puts my thinking in a different ways. I ask different questions, I look from different angles, and when it makes me enable senior people to really be senior and to cooperate with me. And like, you know, their biggest fear when I come to the room and say like, either now you make the decision or I will make one. And then they make the decision. So another error which is quite hard to me is we often are stuck at this, it feels like in the same place. For example, now I used to juggle with one kid and being in director's roles and having lots of hobbies on top. Now I'm senior director. I got into this role when my current kid was 6 months old. Now I have 2 kids, one of them 6 months old, and I have different position, and I have to juggle this around. And I was like, oh my God, I cannot do that. But then I remind myself that I used to be in this place when I thought that I don't know what to do. So many times. I was exactly in the same place, just different floor. So I already know how to solve this. So, Aliona, okay, what do we do when we are stuck? So it's not that we are working more, we stop. We review all the work. We answer the question, what 20% of work give 80% of the value? And we create the new agenda, we move on. So basically, majority of our struggles, they are not new for us. And it's very important to remember that it's actually, we've been there before, maybe just on the different floor. And anyhow, I always tell that choose the career you would sacrifice your life for, because you will. And I try to deny that, but actually you cannot deny that's gonna be true. But then another question is like, you will anyhow make those choices and sacrifices, but then you can make them either cautiously or subconsciously. So if you have too many work, something will slip. But the question is, will the thing will slip is the one you choose to slip, or it will be something different? So the way I check it now is, are your values reflected in your calendar? So everything is my calendar. Every private thing is in my calendar. Because with my first kid, once I came back from work and my daughter was behaving like not nicely, and I talked to babysitter like, oh my God, what's wrong with her? Why she's behaving like this? She never behaved like this. And the babysitter, actually, she didn't like, no blame on her. She just like, she always behaved like that, you just not at home. I was like, oh my God, it hit me so hard. Most probably she never remembered she told me this. But since then, I actually check much more if my values are reflected in my calendar. And the last thing, which was an error, I thought that the more things I do on my own, that if I don't do them on my own, that means that I'm not capable of doing them. So I should be able to do everything on my own, because then I'm strong. Then I'm an independent woman who doesn't need help, and then after I become one, I can go and ask for help. But what I learned, what happened when a senior leader delegates? He delegates, or she delegates, to another leader, who then delegates to their team. The senior engineer in the team taking on some work delegates more complex tasks to the regular engineer. And then it actually goes to the very bottom. And of course, it's a very fine balance not to over-delegate and to make sure that we're not burning people. But the one who haven't learned to ask for help, haven't grown yet, because it makes us wiser, not weaker. And the last thing from me, if you remember the first one, is you may not like yourself, because liking is about comparing, about setting the benchmark, about making like you look the way you look, or know the things which you believe you should know. But loving yourself, it's about caring for the person no matter what. It's for being a mother sometimes to yourself. It's about compassion, and it's about patience. So what I suggest that everybody do is start loving yourself, because without this, career simply is not possible. Thank you.